Wow, we are ticking all these boxes off. Time to move on.
Hi, Michelle here from Travelling Over 60. Come join me on this adventure.
Now I'm up early, like I normally am, to take the last looks at Lake Louise. And it's only 2 degrees. But we're going to be on the coach today, so we're just putting on jeans, just our runners today, a long sleeve shirt and jumper, and I'll take my jacket on the coach with me. Now, even though I'm up early, our bags don't have to be out until 9:30 and we don't need to be on the coach until 10:30. So that gave me plenty of time for these photos. Time to pull the map out again. Now we've finished in Lake Louise and we're heading down towards Banff. Banff is only about an hour away, so we're going to head into the town first. But first, have a listen to this. Now today we're off to Banff and we're all very excited. We've had a nice relaxing day here at Lake Louise and we're ready to get up and go again. So we get down to the bus. Now the trip from Lake Louise to Banff isn't very long. We walk down to the bus with our carry-ons and go to get on the bus and I'm disappointed. You'll never believe where I'm sitting. At the back, in the last seat for the third day. I'm a little bit disappointed because every time they call out at the front, look, a bear, or maybe something else, we can't see it. Unless we were to get up from our seat and walk down further, we don't see it. And by the time we get to it, it's gone. They're very fast. So I'm disappointed. Now I know we have to be flexible and I know we have disappointments on a tour, but 3 days at the back of the bus, I just felt it was a bit much. Now I'm not sure if you remember at the beginning of this adventure, I did say to you, I wonder if our tour guide might get sick of me. Is this his way of showing me? Anyway, we sat at the back of the bus and luckily the trip wasn't very long at all. But come along and have a look at Banff. Now for those of us that haven't done any washing, our tour guide's going to take us to a laundrette in Banff. So everyone gathered their washing and brought it on the bus with us. We head off on that short trip to Banff, and then this was the funniest sight. Everybody following the tour guide to the laundromat. Now, I didn't go with them because I'd already done my washing, but they all went down, they just handed it over, they were all labelled, the person did their washing, and then the trek back to pick their washing up the next day. By the time we reached Banff, it had warmed up a little. Well, if you call 11 degrees warm. The Banff shopping centre is so different to Lake Louise. Lake Louise was so tiny and Banff is huge. Let me just show you a few things in the village. So we're in the town of Banff and it's huge. I couldn't possibly show you all the streets in Banff, but there's just so many shops. There's like restaurants and cafes and shops that you can buy souvenirs in and all sorts of things. There's this one big church here that I can see. That's the Presbyterian Church. Now that's on Banff Street. And then this one going the other way is Wolf Street. And I want to tell you about a little restaurant just down there a bit further, if I can show you. It's a bit hard to see. But down there, Earls. Now we went into Earls and they had soup and chowders and it was amazing. Shout out to Noah, our server, he was great. And if by chance you do go in there, don't forget to look at the view. Now here's a bit of a hazard. There was very steep stairs, but there is a lift out the back, you just ask. We joined some of our fellow travellers for lunch, and this place had huge beers, although my husband likes to try the local beer wherever he goes, so this was the local beer. Now we sat down for a big bowl, although I had a small bowl, of chowder. Now it's time to move on and show you a bit more of the town. Now while you're walking the streets, don't forget to look at the view. It's amazing no matter which way you look. Like I said, up here it's a really long street too. A bit cloudy today, but it doesn't matter, it's still just as beautiful. Okay, so the street here in front of me is Buffalo Street, and that's the washrooms, that little wooden building just over there to the right of the screen. And just showing you, this is Buffalo, and we just walked along Banff that I was on before. Over there you can see a bank, just to give you a landmark, and lots of mountains. Let's take a look at crossing the street. So when the lights go for you to cross, you can cross every which way, from corner to corner or straight across. Now they do have gutters that you have to step down off, but where the pedestrian crossings are, it's scooped. And if there's no lights, just step out safely, put your hand out, and the cars will give way to you. Even though the village was huge, I still managed to find a chocolate shop. I bought some fudge and it was delicious. And I couldn't help but giggle at the name of this place. Okay, you're going to have to discover the rest for yourself, because Ravi is waiting for us to get back on the bus so we can go and check in to the Fairmont Banff Springs. Wow, how's this for a foyer? Now we're all waiting patiently here because our first thing that we're going to do is meet with a Mountie. Well, I've got to say it wasn't the best of receptions from the hotel. They didn't know where we were meant to be. They took us from one spot to the next and they were a little bit grumpy. But finally, we found our Mountie. Not only was he informative, but he was great fun to take a photo with. I know that's a hard act to follow, but Craig followed on with some great information about what's coming up in a few days. Our Rocky Mountaineer trip, but you'll have to wait for that. That's another video. We've had a little bit of rain around, but while it's stopped for the moment, I want to take you outside and show you the hotel from outside. Now they call it the Castle in the Mountains, and trust me, it is like a castle. It is huge and it just towers up into the sky. It's so big that this is one side of it and then this is the other side. I could hardly get it in one photo. It sort of feels like a little village. Let me show you around. We've arrived at the Fairmont Banff Springs. This is it. And down here as well, it goes all the way down the other side. So the tour of the hotel is going to be just a basic one. And if you come out the front door over on the left there, walk to the edge, the corner there, there's a crossing, come across the road to here, and there's a little store here. So there's gutters, crossings, and then just looking up here, so here is the hotel, and then we've come out the front and there's a bus stop, and that will the bus will take you into town. We're going to spend some time in the town tomorrow after our helicopter ride. I'm very excited for it. But now it's time to go and get ready for our freedom of choice dinner, and we've chosen the Vermillion restaurant in the hotel. Now it's called the Vermillion Room, the restaurant. We started off with drinks, and I'm not going to tell you whether you should eat in this restaurant or not. I'm going to show you what we ate, and I can tell you the food was amazing. So far, we haven't had bad food anywhere, and I can feel my waistline getting bigger and bigger. And when you look at the desserts, you understand why. I still have so much to show you. A room tour and what happened with our helicopter flight. And maybe we'll squeeze in a gondola ride. So if you've liked this video, don't forget, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see the rest, subscribe and ring the notification bell. And then come join me on the next part of my adventure.